Hi everybody, Michelle here from the Face Paint Shop. Hope you've been enjoying your week. We have another workshop for you today. So we thought we've done lots of superheroes. We've done Spider-Man. We've done Batman and Spider-Man. So today we thought we'd bring out our female superheroes and give you an awesome Wonder Woman. So what I'm going to do is paint a Wonder Woman design for you. I'm going to start with just a very, very basic design, and then I'm going to add a whole bunch more details just so that you can see that you can stop with a really basic design, or you can keep going and have a much more detailed one. So without further ado, we'll get started. Ado or ado? Ado? It doesn't matter. Okay, so I found this Wonder Woman design online, and what I love about it is that it's got a watermark on it, which means that I can give credit, which is great. Always watermark your designs. So this one is from Monliet in monliet.com. I'd say that that's maybe French or Dutch. It's an awesome design though, and it's perfect for what we're going to do today. So I'm going to do a fairly traditional Wonder Woman. And then, as I said, I'm going to add more details to it so that there's more things that we can do with it. The colours that I'm using today are very straightforward. I've got a really pretty gold, a red, a nice kind of tealy blue, and then a black and a white for my details. I'm also going to use a stencil today. This stencil is really great. It's called Star Groupies, and it's from the Show Off's Quickies range. This one's a really good one because stars are actually really hard to make perfect. So I always recommend using a stencil for stars, and we're going to begin with that. So if you have a stencil, great, use it. If you don't, that's totally okay. I'm going to sketch out a little star for you as well, so that you can see other ways of painting stars. So we'll pop that aside for one sec. I'll pick up my brush. This is just a nice round standard brush. I'm going to pop a little bit of water on my brush over here. So we're actually going to begin with the star, which seems a little bit counterintuitive, but the problem is with this particular design is that when you're painting this beautiful gold over the top, or this beautiful gold sort of part of it, the gold can really blend in with the red, and you don't get that really strong contrast. So we're actually going to paint the other way around, which is a little bit irritating because it is definitely slower, but it's the only way to get like a real solid colour happening. So by what I mean by that is that you've got two options. You can either do the gold first, and we'll just do some quick gold on my page. I'll just grab a sponge. Sorry, I thought I had my sponges ready. Apparently I don't. One sec. Okay, this is a bag full of sponges. I actually keep my sponges, by the way, in a Delicates washing bag. And the reason that I do that is because when I'm finished with all my dirty sponges, I can throw the entire thing in the Delicates bag straight into the washing machine. Isn't that helpful? Obviously, if you do wash it in the washing machine, making sure that you're using just standard hot water. You know, don't put any dishwashing soaps or anything like that in with your bag. But it is really helpful to throw it directly into the washing machine. So that's why I use it in a Delicates bag. And we do sell these as well because these ones are perfect. Okay, I'm going to spray my sponge. So I'm going to show you the differences first of all of doing a star underneath compared to doing a star over the top. And I'll just do that over here on paper. Okay, so there's a little bit of gold background. Actually, I'll do it on my face so that way it's really obvious as to what I'm doing. Okay, so We can either do the gold background first, the gold that I'm using, by the way, it's actually from the Superstar range. And it's very, very pretty. It blends really well, so it's really good for like underneath base painting. What I don't love about it is that it's hard to get really straight lines with it because it is so smooth and creamy. Some people can, some people are amazing with using Superstar, but I'd probably rather use a face paint that is designed for that sort of painting. Okay, then actually we'll use a brush. So I can then paint my star over the top. Like so. Or I can do the other way around. So I can, which is how we're going to do it today. So I can start with my star. And then I'd grab a nice flat brush to come around the outside and do around the outside. So you see there's two different ways. It very much depends on what you prefer. It also depends on what paint you're using. So if you're using a real creamy blend of paint, things like Superstar, Chameleon is pretty smooth and creamy. Paradise is definitely smooth and creamy, things like that. You'll probably want to do it this way, because the reason being because it doesn't dry quickly enough for you to then paint over the top, and you're going to get these kind of awkward colours happening. If you are using really quick drying paints like Tag, Diamond FX, Fusion, anything like that, then do it this way, because your paint will be nice and dry and you're going to paint straight over the top. So there we go. There's a little example of two different ways as to how you can start off your Wonder Woman stars. I am actually going to ask for a different gold, because as much as I like this Superstar one, I think I'd rather use a bit of a stronger, less creamier sort of paint. And I'd rather use a Tag, Fusion, a Diamond FX gold, something that's just going to be that bit more solid, and it's going to dry that little bit quicker as well. Okay, just while that gold is coming to me, I'll just come over here and show you the star. So today we're going to use a stencil, like I said, because I think it's just an awesome stencil for Wonder Woman. But there is obviously other ways of painting your stars. And it all comes down to practice, of course. Everything comes down to practice. But what we'll do is we're going to start everything you want. It's basically, a star is basically a combination of 5 triangles. Okay, so you can either do this thing, like so. I think everybody kind of already knows that, you know, we do these in primary school, this kind of concept, and then fill in the gaps. So it's just like a 4, and then you keep going to the centre, 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 and keep going onwards. Yeah, look, it's fine. I probably would rather sketch out my stars, because I'm going to get a much more well-designed star. So I'm going to start by doing my very top part, because that way I can make sure that it matches at the top. So I draw a little triangle like this. And then I keep my opposite stars nice and even. So one out and then one out. And I bring that down. And then this is the hardest part, is just making sure that this part at the bottom is nice and straight. Now, it absolutely is not a perfect star. My bottoms tend to be a lot thinner than my tops, but what you'll find is that it looks really even on the face. And that's of course what we're going for. If you wanted to, you could even out your points, because you're going to fill it all in anyway. And there we go, a really perfect looking star for our Wonder Woman. Cool, makes sense? All right, beautiful. So I've got my gold now. We've got a brand new gold that's exciting. This is a beautiful gold, it's from Fusion. So it's brand new to the market. It's actually they call it a pearl metallic gold. I think any gold really is pearl and metallic in the end. Okay, I'm just going to load up my sponge. Because it's a brand new cake that we're using, I do need to load it up just that bit more to begin with, just because that's just how it is. Okay, so work along with me if you like. Has everybody got their gold loaded up? Beautiful. Okay. Now, two different ways again that we can do this. We can either with a flat brush like this one, and I like a nice angled brush. This particular one that I've used right now is a tag angled brush. You can either sketch out the Wonder Woman shape, like so, or if you're feeling really confident, you can just sponge that in straight away. I actually might have to use a brush because my design board is still just that touch wet from me cleaning it before, which means I'm not getting a nice solid colour. Okay, the next thing, I will use a brush for that. Okay, so we're sketching out this little point, and you see how because I've used a flat brush, I've actually got this kind of point has happened for me, you know, so I didn't have to actually paint that in. Because I lined up my brush, it just did it, which is really cool. Okay, the next thing you can do is that you can either do what this lovely lady over here has done, which is this nice little pointed up. Try and line that up, so my point is here. You might, however, find that whoever you're painting has a fringe, has a forehead that doesn't allow you to kind of have a little detail at the top. Some kids don't, they just don't have enough room on their face. In which case, you can absolutely just cover in that whole lot. Okay, so we've got this cool gold effect happening now. Beautiful, done. We'll just smooth out a few parts. Okay, cool. We can let that dry. And as you know from previous workshops, it doesn't dry great on a practice board like this. It does need just that little bit of extra time to really get it to be perfect, but that's alright, we've learned that. Oh, I've done it uneven again, goodness me. Okay. So in the meantime, while we're waiting that for dry, we're going to focus on the eyes a little bit. Now, you don't have to do this part across the eyes. In fact, I almost recommend that you don't. And the reason being is because, look, I don't know, it kind of, I personally feel anyway, having that bright blue 70s eyeshadow almost takes away, I think, the strength of Wonder Woman a little bit. Now, I could be totally wrong with thinking that. That's just my own personal view, but I don't know. I don't love the big, strong makeup that Wonder Woman, like has in this particular design. And you'll notice that the more modern Wonder Woman, so the more modern ones that have come out now, she doesn't wear a lot of makeup, which I think is great. You don't have to be wearing a lot of makeup as a superhero. We, however, are just going to follow this design, so we will do it. Okay, I'm going to grab just a nice rounded, this one is a tag, solid round, probably about I think it's about a number 6 or so. You can use any any brush that you're comfortable with though. This particular blue is a really nice teal. And what we're looking for is to be kind of like that cat eye effect. So it looks as if this paint could have just been kind of shoved on. It's not in any shape or form. It has a definite shape and it's following the eyes around. So we want to make sure that we're doing that as well. And the way that we do that is we've got this cat eye at the top and then we're going to bring it down. And what we're actually lining it up with is the bottom lid. A lot of people will try and line things up with their top lid like this, and it doesn't work. Okay, we're actually lining things up with the bottom lid down here. Like so, there we go. So we that out, and then we'll do the same on the opposite side. Cool. Okay, how's this going? Oh goodness, it just takes so long to dry when it's cold outside. That's only because I'm working on a practice space like this, plastic by the way, on a skin. It'll dry very, very quickly. And soon we'll be able to see real life humans and be able to, for us that means we can have models and stuff again, which is very exciting. I am just evening out the paint with the idea that it will dry that a little bit quicker. Okay, we can't really look any longer, so we'll start. I'm going to use the big star because I think that matches really well. If you had a smaller face, you might use the smaller star. I'm going to use the big one because that is perfection. Okay, we did this in a previous episode of using stencils. So what I use is actually makeup sponges. It works so much better than face paint sponges, only of course for stencils. And the reason being is because they don't pick up anywhere near as much paint and they hold on to the paint, which makes it a lot harder to clean. But that's okay because it means that when you're painting, you're just going to get the parts of the stencil that you want. And it's going to be a nice, smooth, perfect stencil. Look at that. I mean, that's perfect. And that's because of using a makeup sponge. These are our awesome smoothie blenders. They come in a whole bunch of different colors. We have a few different sizes. I really like these small little ones. Like, they just work so well. So definitely pick up some of these from the face paint shop. Okay, we'll put that to one side. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a nice confident brush, so a brush that I really like to use and whatever that might mean to you. This particular one is a Diamond FX number 2. It comes in all the Diamond FX palettes. And I'm just wetting my brush, and then as I'm smoothing it out so I get that nice even tip. Okay, I'm going to load up my Diamond FX black. Actually, this might be Chameleon. No, Diamond FX. Both Diamond FX and Chameleon blacks are really good, by the way. So if you're after a really good quality black that's going to last you a long time, it's definitely worth investing in that a little bit more and grabbing yourself a nice quality black, and white for that matter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just add some details. So I'm going to outline my mask. nice and gentle. I don't want to be pushing too hard, otherwise I'll get big black lines. We want nice and gentle, smooth, glowing lines around the outside. Try not to go back and correct yourself. So say you've kind of, your line isn't as straight as you want to be. If you go back and correct it, honestly, 9 times out of 10 you're going to stuff up even more. So it's kind of best just to leave it, to be honest. Okay, so following this design over here, she's got some little pretty teardrops around her eyes, and that's nice, so we might as well do that. We'll actually just outline her eyeshadow as well. And all that does is just make it really clear and really vibrant as to this is meant to be there. Okay, if you want to, you could also outline your star. I'm going to not, and the reason being because that is damn perfect star. I think we can all agree that is perfection. If I outline it, I'm probably going to stuff it up a little bit, so I'm not going to. What I am going to do though is just give some little feature lines. You could also call them kind of movement lines, and what they do is just kind of adds that little bit more into the mask. Okay, the next thing that you'll find in lots and lots of Wonder Woman effects and lots of Wonder Woman designs is these big bright lips. Please always ask both the kids and the parents if they are okay with that. You will find that a lot of parents are not okay with the kids having big bright lips, which is fine. That's, they're cool. So just ask them beforehand if they would like the red lips or not. This particular design also has a little bit of blush. I would use a sponge for that and just give a little bit of a touch. Again, it's that very kind of gaudy makeup look, which I don't think is necessary. I think it's more important with Wonder Woman anyway, to get that strength of the character. Like, I think that's so much more important than this kind of makeup-y sort of thing that she has going on. Okay, cool. So there we go. There is Wonder Woman. That's what we have over here. As you can see, it's actually a really simple design, especially when you're using stencils. You can get it to be perfection. That's a very, very basic design. It's definitely something that you can do at home. And yeah, look, I hope that is one that you try and that you really, have some fun with. What I'm going to do now is just add a few little kind of extra things that you could do. That if you find this a bit too simple, to be honest, if it's something that you're like, yeah, look, that's great. However, what can we do now? So the first thing I'm personally going to do is get rid of these red lips because I think they're horrible. The cheeks, I mean, sorry. And instead of the big bright cheeks, what I'm going to do is use another stencil. I'm going to bring that down the side like this. And I'm going to use my same red peeler because it's already there, so I might as well. Making sure that that black is dry underneath, otherwise I'm going to get it everywhere. And then just because it's out, I'll just grab a little bit of white. And while my stencil's there, nice and very, very, very gently, I'll just give some of these little dots a bit of white highlighting. Okay, let's have a look at that. Cool. Okay, and we'll do the same on the other side. Of course, because I'm going to flip the stencil around, we need to clean it first. So I'm just cleaning that off with a baby wipe. Drying it with my fingers. Okay, we'll bring that down. I kind of want it to line up with this model's cheekbones. that will give a really lovely effect. Okay, a few of the white dots. Bring that up. Oh, that was not quite dry enough. That's right, we'll do that again in a few minutes when it's nice and dry. Or you can just do one side. It's a great thing about these practice mats from Tag is that they're so easy to clean. So, you know, if you do make a mistake, oh well, quick wipe off. Okay, cool. The other thing that I'm going to do, just to kind of show that, you know, there is that little bit more to Wonder Woman, is I'm actually going to give a little bit of patchwork up here. So I'm going to do a little bit, just a little bit of design. So what I'm doing is literally just this shape, kind of like a patchwork type effect. And I'm just going to do that in a few different spots. And you see what it's doing is kind of adding that bit more texture, that bit more design, that bit more artwork. You know, it's showing that, yeah, you've got some skills. And Wonder Woman is one of those designs that, unless you're going to do an incredibly realistic bronze mask, or you're going to do like kind of that pin-up sort of effect where they have all the, you know, the dots and that sort of thing, there's not that much more than you can do with Wonder Woman. In which case, having a few extra little things like this is really worth it. Okay, we're going to give I'm going to put that little bit more black outline around her eyes. And the reason being is because then it's like it's not, you know, this kind of gaudy 70s makeup. It's more of a strong, you know, figure with just that bit more of that extra black. Just wipe that away for now and I'll redo it. Okay, we'll make sure that that our patch board is nice and dry before we bring that stencil across again. Otherwise it's going to happen, the same thing's going to happen, it's just going to blend everywhere. And we'll use a different one this time because I think this is really cool as well. Okay, let's have a look at that. Man, it's still not quite dry. That's right, what we'll do is that we'll fix it up with an outline. So you need to be extra careful here because it's very, very easy for your paint to just go everywhere. And your stars end up looking really wobbly and not how you want them to be. So make sure you've got lots of potassium and a nice steady hand. Cool, okay, we'll give those again just a little bit of texture. We'll give it some teardrops coming up, coming down. Like so. Cool, so there we go, there's just a little bit extra that we can do with our Wonder Woman. The other thing that you can do, which I've seen a few times now, which I think is really cool, is a couple of little dots coming down the lips, either underneath the lip or on top of the lip. And what it just adds that little bit of extra again. The other thing that we can do is we can grab our white and we can just give it a little bit of highlighting as well. So, and that also means we can fix up these stars a bit more. I know this is hard to see on the camera, this white, which is why I've found I haven't really been using it too much, but hopefully this will give you just, again, just those few extra things that you can do just to really test yourself, especially when you're stuck at home. Cool. With the dots, by the way, just do one or the other, you know, either on the lip or underneath, don't do both. Okay, so there we go. There's a really awesome looking Wonder Woman. The other idea that I have for you is using a liquid glitter like this one. This is Glitter Mark from Marilyn. So it gives you a really nice, solid, strong glitter. Yeah, I should have tested this beforehand when it's open. When your glitter does get blocked up, by the way, just grab yourself a pin and just stick it straight down the hole, and it will just open things up a little bit more. But what you can do with that glitter, if you've got a really steady hand, you can outline your headband, which will look really beautiful. If you're feeling really confident, outline the star, but definitely the outline of the headband is lovely. And again, just add that little bit extra. Cool, okay, hope you enjoyed that. Everything that I used today is available on the website for you to have fun at home playing. These practice spaces are available, all the colours that I use. This stencil, once again, is called Star Groupies. Everything is at thefacepaintshop.com. Please make sure you go to our website, that is thefacepaintshop.com. We are dispatching orders out daily, so nothing has changed for us. Apart from that, obviously, we have a few more restrictions in store, and everything is super, super safe. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Please share our posts, tag us on Facebook and Instagram. Tell your friends and family about us. That's how we can grow and get more visitors and more people to face paint. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment and tell us what you'd like to learn next time. And we'll see you again soon. By the way, I will just bring that a little bit closer for everybody. There we go.